Okay, so this is going to be page 3, and remember these are all going to go on page 21. Okay, so we're still continuing on page 21 here. Okay, and it says find the slope of the line through each of the pair points. So if I give you 2 points, the best thing to do is use slope formula. So you're going to be using this formula on every single one of these. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is label these x1, y1, x2, y2, and then plug those straight into the formula. y2 is 1 minus y1 is 1. x2 is 19 minus x1, which is negative 2. You're going to end up showing all of your work. So even if you already noticed this is 1 minus 1 is 0, and what happens when 0 is on top, I want you to go ahead and finish this. Okay, this becomes a positive. 19 plus 2 is 21. When 0 is on top, my slope is 0. So m equals 0 for this first problem. Okay. Number 2. I'm going to label these x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to use my slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and I'm going to plug those points straight in. So I get negative 8 minus y1, which is 4, x2, which is 19, minus 18, which is x1. Let's simplify this. Negative 8, negative 4, negative 8 minus 4 is going to be a negative 12. 19 minus 18 is a positive 1, and so in this case my slope is negative 12. Okay, last but not least, C's. I get x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to plug it into my slope formula. y2 is negative 8 minus y1, negative 8. Okay, remember you're going to show all work. x2 is negative 1 minus negative 10. Remember, watch your negatives here. So in this case, I have a negative 8 next to a minus, so those end up turning positive. Same thing on the bottom. So negative 8 plus 8 is 0. Negative 1 plus 10 is 9. And so when 0 is on top as a numerator, my slope is 0. Okay. Let's go over to example 4 real quick. Now, there's a few in your homework problem from the book where you're given 2 points, but one of the x values is missing. And then they give you slope. Okay, and so you're going to have to kind of work backwards and find the x term. This is a very, very important one to follow. So here are my 2 points. I get x1, y1, x2, y2. And the problem says find x if the line through 4, 7, and x3 has a slope of 4. So this is my m value. Okay. Now I'm going to use my slope formula. I'm going to plug all of my known values in. Okay, so do I know m? M is 4 over 5 equals y2 is 3 minus y1, which is 7. x2 is x, so I'm going to put that there, minus x1, which is 4. Now, I want to go ahead and simplify if I can. Okay, so this is 4 over 5 equals 3 minus 7 is negative 4. X minus 4 cannot be simplified. And I'm going to have to keep that as one full term on the denominator. Now, this is a fraction equals essentially a fraction. One of the things you can do is cross multiply. And what we're trying to do is get rid of having a denominator. So I'm going to bring the bottom term up, and cross multiply. So what I have now is 4 times x minus 4 by bringing this up, cross multiplying, and then my equal sign, I'm going to bring my 5 up, so negative 4 times 5. Now I no longer have a denominator set. Okay, from here I'm going to solve for my x value. This is just simple manipulation that we learned in chapter 1. I'm going to distribute, okay, and I even don't have to distribute, but most of you that'll be your first instincts. So 4x minus 16 equals negative 20. I'm going to get x by itself by adding 16 to both sides. I get 4x equals negative 20 plus 16, okay, is going to be a negative 4. Divide off 4 to both sides. X is equal to negative 1. And so in this case, my x value from the original problem would have been negative 1. Okay, now using the graph to solve. Okay, so if you wanted to do this using a graph, you could do the same thing. You do know one of the known points is 4, 7. So let's go ahead and plot that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now unfortunately you don't know the second point. However, you do know the slope. Okay, now if we wanted to do positive 4 and positive 5, we would be up on the graph. But we know that this is going to be a positive slope. So if m equals 4 over 5, that's the same thing as saying negative 4 over negative 5. So I can use that and do rise over run. Let's go in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to get enough points, and then I can draw my line. Now this is very important. Do any of these points have a y value of 3? So let's think about this right here was 4, 7. Okay, this one right here, if we were to calculate that point on the graph, it would be negative 1, positive 3. This one right here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 6, negative 1. And so if we look at our original problem, x, comma 3, well, when y is 3, my x is negative 1. So I can do this as another method. Even though this takes a little bit longer, algebraically would be the easiest one to solve. But if you have a graph, you can also solve it that way.